Have you ever, when having conversations where you were listening to the other person speak and you want to say something, but still want to hear what the other person is saying at the same time? Or if it's something that you really want to say, but you don't listen to what the other person is saying that strikes you? If something's that offending that you react. But also add in your mind processing the speed like it's going hundreds of words a minute, vast information being expressed to you, and you're expected to remember every single inflection, every single consonant and vowel, and then spit it back out. What you would expect for a computer to process efficiently. Except, this is how my brain works. Like I have to do both. Be attentive and looking eye to eye at someone what they say, and expected to remember all of it, when I'm here trying to process the basics while listening and looking at the same time. Otherwise, there would be the labels dumb or stupid, one likely to ride the short bus and in separate classrooms or adult daycare. Blame social media all you want for this brain rot, but I experienced this before it was invented, before the internet was widespread as it is now. Where before they've blamed TV, heavy metal, rock and roll, any new music genre, to books, to the printing press, to fire and the wheel. Now, ironically, I actually like the idea of sharing, researching information among many sites, hearing and talking to people across the world. What I've come to realize, though, is I need to give myself time and space to process all this in what works for me. What I can decide or view in my unique way and decide if it works now or will work later. What I don't like is how we've reworked unattainable expectations on ourselves and our productivity, our hobbies, our daily living, except it now takes electricity and electronics to do it. I'm not one to just take all that and electrocute it in the bathtub before throwing it out. On one hand, our lives might have a different quality in approaching life. On the other, that's just it. A different quality. Doesn't mean we automatically get rid of the crap we've had. We just exchange for new crap. If we went back eons in human history trying to get that simple life and go all unga bunga again, we get new crap in survival and pillaging. To some who've had a steady diet of dystopian, post-apocalyptic media would itch that niche. A doomer's paradise. But given how conflicts have been this thing in history, and what was available then, if you think we're in 1984 now with crap laws, how well do you think each of you would do with no laws protecting your ass, save for what others will make that you'd be wishing for Big Brother's all-seeing eye? Shit things will always happen. It will find a way. As much as what we define as hope and faith finds that way too. Now, I don't find either scenario any more pleasing. I have found, and giving my mind a need a kick in the ass as much as my own ass, that opportunities can come. Take a few advice from others if you can process while looking at them. Find your own self, your own ingenuity, and find out how to mesh it together for you. Not always relying on yourself or only on others. A good amount might be your own reliance with a few outside resources, or vice versa. You might find what you thought you needed to be is not for you. It not only takes courage to face the scariest thing ever, and I don't mean from certain family members to certain world leaders, it also takes experience. It takes some insight that might upend the old. You might lose possessions or gain new debts in the process. You might lose a lot of people in your life and only find comfort in the few. Doesn't mean family or friends or membership in a state, country, world is any less important. It just means what it is to each individual without self or group harm. It doesn't always mean to be selfish to sacrifice the many for, but enough to see that you also have importance among the many. Finding individual importance along to group importance. Not finding a savior, not even me, but your own salvation. Though it doesn't hurt if others can bring that out. And I know this insight isn't going to affect many. I understand that. But this is the insight for myself I have been willing to work with, and see how much of it to use or change while being aware of this existence I'm in and its limitations. I'm not selling any books or courses. I'm not filling in seminars just for this advice that have so far been both money-free, but also cost removing, retweaking things that don't work for me anymore. But if I was, maybe it'd be something a little more on the creative end. Maybe something that people would be able to enjoy, not to force any inspirations. I don't mean for this video to be a downer. Just want it to be honest, raw, experience, and express my experience with problems and things put upon me. Another flavor to add to the trauma bowl chili, not the same as others, yet somehow similar. But I am trying to go for something that is as raw and honest to myself as much as possible. It might not get any fame or glory or be written down in history in some way, or perhaps much like with the many other knowns and unknowns in the past, maybe some of that essence of theirs has spread into me and has spread into all of us, perhaps continue to spread. If we want to find something that is important to all of us, to each of us in our own unique way, for with each of us that is going to choose what is best for us, might end up not being so for others, but we still try to search for it anyway. And I know a lot of this is not going to be so pretty or so polished, but I feel that's been the issue for a lot of us. Not so much blindly following what everybody else is doing, but by following of what we feel or what we thought are good intentions or what we feel is beneficial for humanity, finds fail in the guise of being something else that's pretty.